blows up in Dorchester. A dozen people hurt, and neighbors say they saw it coming.
New charges in the Aaron Hernandez murder case. What led investigators to Florida?
More chilly weather, but a big weekend ahead. The question is, can we kick the cold out in time?
And preventing running injuries before they happen. Eric Fisher shows us how this local facility could change the way people train for the Boston Marathon.
Live from our studios in Boston, WBZ News at 5 starts right now.
Breaking news tonight, a local teacher facing child pornography charges. I'm Paula Evans.
And I'm Jonathan Elias. Good to have you along this evening. Josh Wyrie faced a federal judge just moments ago. Investigators started to look into the 5th grade Cambridge teacher back in July. They say that he was sending videos over the internet. Today, police broke down the door of his Somerville home and arrested him. And according to the police affidavit, he admitted to using an international website to locate images of child pornography. Wyrie also admitted to secretly videotaping and using a camera cell phone to videotape children changing in and out of clothes on more than one occasion. He also admitted to setting up and hiding a video camera in a locker room in order to videotape children changing in and out of their clothes. Our Beth Germano is in federal court right now for this arraignment. We will bring you all the information on Wyrie's arrest as soon as we get it.
Also tonight, could the Dorchester house explosion that sent nearly a dozen people to the hospital have been prevented? Right now, there are some questions about gas leaks in the area. Now, investigators think a gas leak caused last night's blast. Bill Shields is live in Dorchester tonight. Bill?
Paula, can you believe it? Inside that house last night, when it exploded, there were at least 9 people, none of them seriously injured. They all walked away, like you said, though. Some people had to be taken to the hospital for treatment. But in the days and weeks leading up to that explosion last night, people on this street, Hansborough Street in Dorchester, they said they were smelling gas and called about it, but nothing happened until last night.
Words can't explain how awful that was.
1 minute, the 3-family home was intact, and seconds later, it was torn apart by an explosion.
It was like a major blast, and just, like I said, it was like a few of them. I don't know if it was because of the wind.
Boston fire investigators confirmed that a natural gas leak caused the explosion. And people around here have been smelling it on the streets for weeks.
It was a weird odor outside. My mother and I noticed it, but we couldn't imagine it would have been this.
My house, I live on the other side. A resident from across the street called National Grid weeks ago, complaining about the smell of gas.
They came, they checked, couldn't find anything, but then they wanted us to hire a private investigator contractor to come and...
the homeowner you'd have to hire.
Yeah, they wanted me to hire somebody to find it.
National Grid issued a statement this afternoon saying in part, "We have not found any issues with our infrastructure, and it appears to have been operating normally." Even though there were at least 9 people in the building at the time of the explosion, nobody was seriously hurt. But a family of 7 is now left with only the clothes on their backs. Do you know what you're going to do now?
I don't know. We don't know what's going on here because, things like that happen, many people get help.
And that family is going to need help. They have 5 kids and nowhere to go, no family in the area. As for the investigation, Boston Fire again confirmed with us it was caused by a natural gas leak. They haven't determined the source of it, though. And that's very key to this investigation, obviously. Reporting live from Dorchester, I'm Bill Shields, WBZ News. Paula?
All right, Bill, thank you so much. And natural gas leaks are a serious problem across the Bay State. In November, the I-Team showed you how easily researchers were able to find gas leaks. It's estimated there could be as many as 20,000 of them statewide. Right now, a bill is working its way through the State House, which would require utilities to fix leaks sooner, particularly if they're near a school or a heavily populated area.
A Florida man in court in connection charged in the Aaron Hernandez murder case. 23-year-old Oscar Hernandez, no relation to Aaron, now faces several federal charges linked to the shooting death of Ode Lloyd. Jack Williams joining us now with the details on this one. Jack?
Well, Jonathan, Oscar Hernandez was in court this afternoon in Orlando, Florida. Prosecutors charged the 23-year-old with obstruction of justice, witness tampering, and lying to a federal grand jury. His arrest is part of a gun trafficking investigation between Florida and Massachusetts, all related to Odin Lloyd's murder. In June, police found Lloyd's body in a North Attleboro industrial park. Investigators arrested former Patriot Aaron Hernandez in connection with a crime of just a few days later. Officials say Oscar Hernandez is one of Aaron's friends. But former prosecutor and partner at Nixon Peabody, Jerry Leone, says it's unclear how this indictment will impact the ex-Patriot's murder case.
We believe the murder weapon in the Aaron Hernandez case to be a .45. In this new case against Oscar Hernandez, what we've learned through the indictments is that two .22 pistols, two .22 caliber pistols, and a rifle were seized. That's not going to be the murder weapon if what we know about the Aaron Hernandez case up to date is true.
Oscar Hernandez will be extradited here to Massachusetts to face a judge. Jonathan?
All right, thank you. The chilly weather continues, but at least today it was sunny outside.
Wow, sunny, but it was colder than you thought it would be when you went outside. Right now, things are looking really nice for the Easter weekend. Chief Meteorologist Eric Fisher is here with the details. Eric?
Not exactly balmy outside, balancing out those 70s near 80s we saw earlier on in the week. It's 38 degrees. These are current temperatures, not forecast lows. In Boston, in Plymouth, New Bedford's at 42, Worcester is at 40 degrees. A lot of chill coming in off that ocean. Even down toward New York City and Baltimore, they're dealing with that same onshore flow. So cooler air right on down the East Coast for this evening. Also a little bit of cloudiness that we're monitoring. You see this bank of low ocean clouds? They've been moving away across the Cape and the South Shore, now backing away into Boston, and particularly here across eastern parts of the state. It's going to stay mainly cloudy overnight. A little drizzle may even develop. 20s in the suburbs, more clear as you work out across Worcester County, and that's why you'll be looking at the chillier temperatures. One more very cold day tomorrow. We're staying in the 40s. As we head toward the weekend, a much-needed warming trend. We'll walk you through that, talk about the holiday and the marathon coming up. Paula?
Sounds good. Eric, thank you. Well, less than 2 months to go until Massachusetts Democrats select their primary candidates for governor. The race got a jolt today.
You call it political theater, if you will. John Keller was there for a mini debate between one candidate and another that wasn't even there, only in Massachusetts, John.
Yeah, well, you know how it is in politics. Sometimes to get attention, you got to get creative. And so today, State Treasurer Steve Grossman staged a debate on gun control with Jim Wallace, head of the state chapter of the National Rifle Association. But Grossman's real target was the acknowledged frontrunner in the Democratic race, Attorney General Martha Coakley.
Why does Martha Coakley take the NRA's position?
Next to a visual reminder of Coakley's refusal to join his campaign event, Grossman pressed his case to anti-gun voters that Coakley has been waffling on whether she has the power to require high-tech trigger locks on new guns and negligent in rejecting calls for a one-gun-per-month limit on sales.
If the Attorney General of the Commonwealth could regulate the use of toy guns as a consumer product, surely she can do the same for real ones. Martha Coakley disagrees and has been praised by Jim Wallace and the gun lobby in this Commonwealth.
Jim, the treasurer says you're here to praise Martha Coakley's gun positions. Is that true?
No. If you look at her track record with us, unfortunately, she's pretty much ignored the plight of lawful gun owners since she's been in office.
Coakley's campaign issued a statement ignoring Grossman's specific charges and accusing him of trying to, quote, score cheap political points. This longtime Democrat says, get ready for more of the same.
You know, when you start blatantly going after opponents for not being somewhere, I think it's laying the course for what I think is going to be one of the ugliest and most divisive Democratic primaries we've had since maybe 1990.
A fray frontrunner Coakley clearly prefers to avoid for now.
Could being up 30 points in the polls have something to do with it?
Listen, if you want to adopt a Rose Garden strategy, fine, but I don't think that's the way to approach the people of the state.
Now, there was an awkward moment for Grossman when it was pointed out that Coakley was busy today attending the funeral of a Boston police officer, but overall, I'd say it was mission accomplished for the Grossman campaign, getting attention on an issue with strong appeal to the liberals who will dominate the Democratic convention in June. Jonathan, you've got to do what you've got to do sometimes.
I guess you do. John, thanks very much. Governor Deval Patrick has announced his choice for Chief Justice of the state's highest court. He nominated Supreme Judicial Court Justice Ralph Gantz. A one-time federal prosecutor, Gantz has been an associate justice on the high court since 2009. The governor says Gantz has earned the job.
Justice Gantz understands that the law needs to be fair and make sense in the lives of real people.
I hope to be worthy of the trust that the governor has placed in me and worthy of the critically important mission that we seek to accomplish every day: the provision of fair, equal, and efficient justice to every person in this Commonwealth.
If the Governor's Council confirms him, Gantz will succeed Roderick Ireland. Ireland will retire in July.
When the starting gun goes off for Monday's 118th Boston Marathon, there will be one runner missing from the crowd. Boston firefighter Michael Kennedy died battling that huge fire in the Back Bay. As Christina Hager shows us, his fellow firefighters are running in his place, and they're making sure a part of him will be with them for all 26.2 miles.
Michael Kennedy's fellow firefighters say his passion for the marathon is what's driving them to this finish line. Never mind all the added barriers, all the extra security here. They say it never would have stopped Kennedy, who was a first responder rushing to help bomb victims last year. He was fixated on running this year until he and Lieutenant Ed Walsh were killed on Beacon Street last month. Fellow firefighter Paul McCarthy.
Talk about fire in the stomach. That he was burning that thing, and fear was not going to take him from what he wanted to do.
Runners will pass Kennedy's number emblazoned on a huge banner that will hang on the fallen firefighters' Boylston Street firehouse. Kennedy planned to run the marathon with his longtime girlfriend. She now has his bib and plans to run not only wearing her number, but his number as well in his memory.
Sarah's actually carrying the number, but Mike is with all of us. And I tell the guys, you know, when you're done and you can't take any more from the pain or the aches, and you really want to quit, just put Mike on your shoulder.
120 firefighters are running, 60 from Boston, for the man who can't be here, but his passion will be. In Boston, Christina Hager, WBZ News.
We wish them all a good and safe run. Today, a tribute walk for marathon bombing victim Crystal Campbell. UMass Boston students and supporters walked one lap around the track in honor of the 29-year-old. 15 people will run the Boston Marathon in Campbell's memory. Bill Campbell is one of those, and though he has no relation to Crystal, when he saw the call to run, he said he had to answer.
To run in the memory of Crystal and her family and all the other families that were affected, this is just, it's going to make the day really special.
The runners are also raising money for the Crystal Campbell Scholarship Fund. So far, that fund has $300,000. Right now, marathon survivors Mark Fucarillo and Jen Regan are getting married at Fenway Park. You talk about a cool setting. They had to put their wedding plans on hold after Mark lost a leg in last year's attacks. He spent 100 days in the hospital, and he was the last survivor to be released from Spalding. They visited on a Fenway tour, took this picture. How cool is that? The happy couple is expected to make an appearance outside the park before the hour is up. We do hope to bring you their wedding day joy live. Congratulations to them. Tomorrow on WBZ News, a White House exclusive. Our Lisa Hughes one-on-one with President Obama. The president's message to the city ahead of this year's marathon. Lisa's reports live from Washington, D.C. tomorrow beginning at 5 o'clock right here on WBC News.
A wild story of embezzlement coming up. Are these grandmothers responsible for stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars? Why, they say it's all a witch hunt.
Plus, the number of diabetes cases across the country may be on the rise, but the patients themselves are healthier than ever. So what's behind the decrease in problems?
And 100 people forced out of their homes after a raging fire tore through their apartment building. Why firefighters think the flames moved so fast.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Modern Pest Services. Termite problems? Not on our watch. Visit modernpest.com and call for a free no-hassle termite quote over the phone.
Don't miss the Bach Honda Spring into a Honda sales event at one of our two great locations. Bach Honda on the Auto Mile, Route 1 in Norwood, or Bach Honda West on Littleton Road in Westford, Mass. Drive home a brand new Honda CR-V for just $99 per month. That's right, Lisa, brand new Honda CR-V for only $99 per month. Two great Bach Honda locations, one legendary low Bach Honda price.
With so many online
fun degree options, we wanted to know why our students chose Southern New Hampshire University.
It is such quality education for the price.
And I love that it was an actual campus.
When I made that first phone call, they made it so easy. I like that it was a nonprofit school and there was a huge focus on education.
It's not about furthering themselves, it's about furthering me, and I wanted to be a part of that.
Fund your online graduate or undergraduate program today and see yourself succeed at snhu.edu.
I'm a frequent flyer, but it feels like I never get to go where I actually want to go. But when I finally do get to cash in, go somewhere new and exciting, I get shut out. No flying this weekend. Plans? Ruined. I should be able to fly whenever I want, right? You know, someone should really do something about that.
JetBlue's True Blue loyalty program. No blackout dates and points that never expire.
Really?
Okay. All right.
Use the ready-to-go spreader and save time. Just turn it on and go. It makes lawn care easy.
Toyota is #1 in value, but it gets better. Because we give you all new stylish Toyotas. Better yet, we give you great deals with the Toyota Gifts of Spring Savings Event. Receive our lowest $178 a month lease on an all-wheel drive RAV4 with no cost maintenance included. Or get 0 for 60 plus $500 bonus cash on Sienna, including all-wheel drive models. Hurry, Gifts of Spring will be wrapped up soon. Toyota, let's go places.
Two firefighters suffered some minor injuries battling an early morning fire at a Cambridge apartment building. It was just after midnight. Crews rushed to the scene on Mass Ave right near Central Square. The fire has started in the basement and then spread to all 7 floors.
You have plumbing, electrical things that feed every floor coming from the utilities from the basement. That shaft is wide open, and the fire got into that shaft area, gave it rapid access to all the floors going up. We had a tough time just keeping it in that point of origin and not mushrooming out horizontally across the whole building.
All in all, the fire affected 57 units. All 100 people who lived here did make it out safely. The Red Cross is helping residents find a new place to stay.
Sunny, beautiful day outside. The only problem is when you walked outside, it's a little chilly.
Jeez, the Easter Bunny is going to need a whole get up on top of the fur.
Well, he's got a lot of fur. They're ready for this.
He'll be in his thermal vest hopping around.
Oh, man. It's, well, good news here. The Easter Bunny will be happy to hear this. We'll warm up by the weekend.
Nice.
Got some cold to go first there. And Boston's high temp today, 40 degrees. It's as warm as it got all day. Now the clouds are into the city, moving in off the ocean. Low is 32 this morning, just a little bit above the record low for the day. Not quite that cold. So you look around the region this evening, we've got the 30s to low 40s right near the coast. It's comparatively a little bit warmer out towards Springfield and Hartford near 50 degrees. Here's the reason why. This is a look at the wind flow right now, the current direction. And you can see these wind streams pointing right in off the northeast. We know the ocean here is still very cold, so when the wind comes across it, right near the shoreline, we're feeling it. Not exactly spring-like out there. That will continue for one more day. And with that, some moisture is now working in off the ocean. So you notice a little batch of clouds blowing in from Cape Ann down toward the Vineyard and Nantucket. And right near the coast, these clouds will probably persist tonight, and they're going to linger into the day tomorrow. So Friday's looking like a grayer day. Low temperatures with those clouds, looking at the 30s here, far eastern parts of the state near the shore. You move out toward Worcester, Fitchburg, Pittsfield. This is where you have more clearing, and you're back into the 20s overnight yet again. Highs tomorrow, it's going to be very similar to what we saw today, just a touch more mild. Right again, near the low 40s on the water. You move your way westward, you get a little bit more brightening in the sky cover. 40s here, and then 50s as you move towards Springfield and Hartford if you're traveling out west. So tomorrow morning, it should be gray, especially at the coastline, those temps in the 30s. Maybe even a little bit of spotty drizzle out there to kick things off. At midday, it'll be cloudy in the eastern part of the state. Some breaks as you head across Worcester County and certainly farther west toward the Connecticut River Valley. And then as we head through the afternoon, low 40s at the coast, mid to upper 40s as you work your way westward. Across the interior, sunset is at 7:29. So the onshore flow for tomorrow, as we head toward the evening, another front approaches. That will bring some high mid-level cloud, but the good news with that front, it kicks out an ocean storm. We clear out on Saturday. Great start to the weekend. And on Sunday, more sunshine for Easter. And mild air will be off to our south and west by Sunday afternoon, and that's poised to move in to kick off next week. So overall, the weekend has looked better and better each day that we've gotten closer to it this week. Upper 50s to around 60 on Saturday, clearing out, gorgeous. On Sunday, mid to upper 50s, lots of sun, but there will be a sea breeze, so it'll be cooler at the coast, closer to 50 degrees for your high temp. So Easter Sunday for the Easter Bunny, yes, upper 50s. It's going to be a fine day, no issues whatsoever. Your AccuWeather 7-day forecast looks like this. We head into Monday, into the 60s. We go a little bit above average for temps, and it does look dry. Rain showers arrive for Tuesday. That's our next storm. That may linger until Wednesday of next week. Coming up next half hour, we'll go in-depth on Monday, Marathon Monday, and talk about how this will impact the runners. Paula, Jonathan, back to you.
Sounds good. Eric, thank you so much. Well, nearly 26 million Americans have diabetes.
And many more have what's called pre-diabetes, which puts them at risk. But as Dr. Mallika Marshall reports, there's some good news on the diabetes front. And Mallika, complication rates, they seem to be what? Down?
Down. Oh,
that's great
news,
yeah.
Right? Very good news. You know, the number of Americans with diabetes nearly tripled between 1990 and 2010. However, the Centers for Disease Control found during that same period, the rate of complications from diabetes fell significantly. The biggest declines were for heart attacks and deaths from high blood sugar. They dropped more than 60%. Other diabetes complications that fell include strokes, amputations, and end-stage kidney disease. Why? Well, experts say several factors are at play.
We're seeing better screening of diabetes, so we're finding these patients at an earlier stage and therefore can make some interventions. Secondly, I think there's a greater recognition that we have to treat patients with diabetes more aggressively to reduce the risk of heart attacks and strokes.
Of course, you know, we have to say the news is not all good. We're still seeing the rate of type 2 diabetes rising exponentially. And despite this progress in the management of the disease, we really need to do a better job at preventing it, both doctors and patients. So we've got to try to get those numbers down. But at least patients are living better with the disease.
But that dialogue has started a number of years ago. It seems to be taking hold now. You know, watch your weight, pay attention to what you're eating, watch out for the sugar. I mean, all of it.
All of it. Yeah, and more also very important is to watch your blood pressure and your cholesterol because all these things sort of interplay.
So what's said 10 years ago now is taking hold now. Doc, thanks very much.
Thanks, Mallika.
And you can send your story ideas to Mallika. She'd love to hear from you. You can email her at drmallika@cbs.com, or you can tweet her at Mallika Marshall. Well, tonight there's big news for the First Family, former First Family.
There is. While hosting a live and virtual town hall, Chelsea Clinton, remember little Chelsea Clinton? She made a big announcement.
Mark and I are very excited that we have our first child arriving later this year. And
Chelsea Clinton married Mark Mizzinski 4 years ago. Recently, she hinted she may one day follow in her parents' footsteps and run for political office. So, having a baby. It was a big day for hundreds of people in our area.
When they are now becoming U.S. citizens, a very exciting ceremony.
But first, athletes and academics, elite runners, show off their skills to the future field of the Boston Marathon. And now here's a look at what's ahead at 6.
An emotional vote pitting neighbor versus neighbor.
I believe truly in my heart that the death penalty is wrong.
The decision splits right down the line. What it means for a centuries-old law which allows hanging in New Hampshire. We'll have details at 6 o'clock.
My name is Kathy Weltansik. I'm from Somerville, Massachusetts, and I'm running for Dana-Farber. I guess about 14 years ago, I was in the World Trade Center on September 11th. I realized how precious this one life we have is, and I started running marathons for charity. I'll be thinking of how lucky I am to cross what I think is one of the most amazing finish lines ever.
Follow every runner's story only on WBZ-TV. They will run for redemption. They will run for triumph. They will run to make history. Every runner has a story. Only one television station will bring you the race. We are WBZ-TV, and we are proud to be your official home for the Boston Marathon. These are their moments. Let's celebrate together. Join us Monday for exclusive all-day coverage. WBZ-TV with you every step of the way.
Charles, where's Dad? Does he know we're shooting a new Kia commercial?
I don't know. Maybe he's in the all-new 2014 Kia Sorento?
I'll bet he's behind the wheel of a new Kia Optima. He loves that car.
Let's go find him.
You can drive a 2014 Kia Sorento for $129 a month or a brand new Kia Optima for only $99 a month.
Shop us last. You'll love us.
My mom and dad love to shop at Lord & Taylor, especially during friends and family. They always take us along when we have lots of fun. And right now, almost everything at Lord & Taylor is an extra 25% off for total savings of up to 50%. That makes mom and dad say, yippee! Guess it's a big deal. So come on in, and you'll have lots of fun. Saving an extra 25%, a lot of great stuff. Plus, 10% off cosmetics, all during friends and family.
It's a fast-paced world. I love it. Everything at your fingertips. You save time and money. I love to shop around. But insurance? You may think you're getting more, but actually, you could be settling for less. That's why I went to TrustedChoice.com. I found the perfect local Massachusetts independent insurance agent who saved me a bundle on my bundle. A protection plan to meet my needs at the best possible price.
Representing our Pella Insurance Group.
Finally, somebody who loves to shop around as much as I do. Spring has finally arrived, and a Subaru with symmetrical all-wheel drive can help you enjoy it. Love the road you're on and a brand new Subaru Outback. Awarded Top Safety Pick Plus by the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety. Drive home a brand new Subaru Outback, well equipped for only $23,795. Plus, get 0% financing for up to 36 months. Get a great deal and go love spring.
The elite field of the Boston Marathon is already in town.
Runners spent the morning visiting young students in Hopkinton to teach them about running, as well as the countries they come from. So fun every year. Sarah Conji was there.
A superstar's welcome for the superstars of the Boston Marathon. 600 kids at the Elmwood Elementary School pumped up the volume for the 15 elite runners from Kenya. But it's not just a party for these students.
Nice to meet you.
Some have studied Kenyan language and culture. Today, these students got to meet the runners they've read so much about.
People of Boston are so welcoming.
Mika Kogo finished second last year in the marathon. He knows this year's race will have special meaning after the bombings.
I'm hoping everything will be okay, and all together we will run Boston Marathon as a team, as a one spirit.
One spirit between these elite runners and a community that makes them feel at home.
We pray that let what happened last year will not happen again anymore, Boston.
Some of the elite runners say they know there'll be more security come Marathon Monday, but they're not scared. Sharon Tarab said nothing will hinder them. In Hopkinton, I'm Sarah Conji, WBZ News.
For those elite runners, they can move. Remember, you can watch this year's race on Monday right here on WBZ. Join us for coverage of the 118th Boston Marathon all day long.
It's a big shift. Sore just to think about it. How about preventing injury before it even starts?
Coming up for us here at 5 o'clock, Eric takes us to a Boston children's facility that could save marathon runners a lot of pain.
Plus, new violence in Ukraine, but there are signs of peace. The agreement just reached today.
But first, dozens of embezzlement charges against these two women. Investigators say they took advantage of someone they were supposed to be caring for.
Wake up and start your day with Kate Merrill, David Wade, Todd Gutner, and Michelle Roberts. WBZ News in the Morning, weekdays from 4:30 to 7. Like us, and you can drive away with the car of your dreams. Enter the Like CBS and Win sweepstakes, and you could win an all-new 2015 Audi A3. Go to our Facebook page, click like, and enter for your chance to win.
Today's weather on WBZ is brought to you by your New England Chevy dealers.
The all-new Chevy Silverado, from the family of the most dependable, longest-lasting full-size pickups on the road. The truck that beats any Ford F-150 in fuel economy, and the 2014 North American Truck of the Year. And now, during Chevy Truck Month, the price you see is the price you pay for a 2014 Chevy Silverado. Now, current non-GM lessons can lease this all-new 2014 Silverado for just $269 a month.
Visit your New England Chevy dealer.
It started when Joe was battling cancer.
When I got my diagnosis, just had to face it head on.
The Joe Andrewsy Foundation provides help, hope, and a reason to smile for patients and their families that are battling cancer.
This year, we're at 48 runners. Every stride they make, they're helping families pay a mortgage, pay rent, utilities.
They do a lot for our foundation. They are helping hundreds of families.
It goes a long way.
Tonight's primetime lineup is brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Massachusetts. Blue Cross Blue Shield of you.
Reed's Ferry Shed's 10% off sale ends this Saturday. Every Reed's Ferry Shed is 10% off list price now through 5 o'clock this Saturday. See 5 acres of sheds on display at Reed's Ferry. Get better quality than the box store and save 10% on the shed price. Go online to reedsferry.com, but get a move on. The spring sale ends this Saturday, 5 o'clock. Call 888-85-SHED. 10% off a Reed's Ferry Shed. You got a good one.
Honda CRV. You've got great deals during the Spring Into a Honda sales event.
Slow down, hotshot.
The CRV has a rear-view camera, Bluetooth, Pandora compatibility, all standard.
Is that it?
And the CRV is the most durable in its class.
Are those McPherson struts?
Indeed.
Nice work, man.
This is not a drill. Get a great deal during the Spring Into a Honda sales event. Now at your Honda dealer.
They may look like average grandmothers, but police say these two women are thieves. Tonight, they're facing criminal charges, accused of taking advantage of an elderly woman with dementia.
Kim McLeod was in the courtroom as this case was laid out.
Indictment, how do you plead guilty or not guilty?
A pair of grandmotherly roommates barked their denials in court today, accused of stuff that would make veteran con men jealous.
They controlled the checkbook and they asked her to sign blank checks.
Randy Berkowitz and Patricia DiGiacomo charged with more than 60 counts of embezzlement, larceny, and intimidation, even as their attorneys portrayed them as folks trying to help.
What it feels like to me, in my experience, is more of a witch hunt than anything else. It's been really vindictive.
Prosecutors say the pair befriended an older Brighton neighbor with dementia under the pretenses of caring for her cat. Instead, they're accused of stealing her trust and her life savings to the tune of $450 grand.
The victim made the fateful mistake of naming Ms. Berkowitz as her power of attorney.
And with that, prosecutors say the defendants were off to the races.
These two individuals wrote a check off of the victim's Fidelity account to purchase a 2010 Mini Cooper for $27,000.
And then there was the victim's retirement account worth $216K.
By the time the Suffolk County District Attorney's Office began their investigation, the victim had $2.16 in her Fidelity account.
Prosecutors say the pair even got their elderly neighbor to sign over her condo, while they opened credit cards in her name to buy all sorts of goodies. Defense attorneys argue the alleged victim actually loves the defendants and accused prosecutors of a dementia double standard.
She can come in and testify before the grand jury, but she's so out of her mind that she can't make the decision of who's going to take care of her and who's going to take care of her cat.
Thing is, these defendants are already charged with a basket full of other frauds, like using an array of phony names to scam doctors out of heavy-duty painkillers.
Over the period of 21 months, it essentially reduced to about 34 pills a day.
Nevertheless, the judge allowed the pair to remain free as long as they steer clear of the nursing home where their alleged victim now resides and stay away from the kennel where her cat is staying. Prosecutors say the pair even found a way around the victim's will, where something called a Putty Cat Trust would have donated all of her remaining assets to animal welfare groups. And while all of this has been unfolding, prosecutors say the defendants were each collecting Social Security disability payments and food stamps. Paula?
Ken, thank you.
Right now, a very special ceremony is underway at the State House. The Consul General of Greece is presenting the marathon champion wreaths to the Boston Athletic League. Our Lisa Hughes is the MC of this evening's ceremony. The wreaths were made out of olive branches and then dipped in gold. They're absolutely beautiful. They were made in Greece, and then they were shipped here.
Protesters arrested outside the Suffolk County Detention Center. They formed a human chain outside the door. These activists want an end to the deportation of undocumented workers, and they're trying to send a message to President Obama. Nearly 2 million people have been deported under his administration, which is a big jump from previous administrations. Inmates inside the jail have been staging a hunger strike since October. Today, a final farewell to a fallen Boston police officer. Last week, Officer Dennis Simmons suffered a medical emergency at the training academy and died. A City of Boston flag draped his casket at his funeral this morning in Randolph. And among those eulogizing the officer today, Police Commissioner William Evans and Mayor Marty Walsh.
TJ confronted the most pressing challenges our community faces. He worked to prevent violence and make our neighborhood safer. He worked to convince our most alienated young people that there's a better path to life. Truly, he made a difference.
Now, just next month, President Obama had been scheduled to honor Officer Simmons for his bravery during the shootout with the marathon bombing suspect in Watertown. Simmons suffered a head injury when one of the suspects threw an explosive at him.
Investigators looking for Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 say the tests show an oil slick near the search area did not come from the missing plane. And today could be the last day of a surface search. Crews plan to cover more than 15,000 miles of the Indian Ocean. Experts are now analyzing the data from that robotic submarine that was built in Massachusetts. Searchers haven't found any physical proof that the sounds that led them to the search area were from the plane. And there's new video tonight showing last year's deadly explosion at a fertilizer plant in West Texas. Watch. Oh, 1 year ago today, a man headed home from work and took this footage with his cell phone. He decided to release it this week to coincide with the anniversary. Last year's explosion killed 15 people and destroyed 120 homes. It damaged more than 200 other homes.
Tonight, a possible path to peace in Ukraine. Right now, meetings are underway in Switzerland with all sides at the table. As Craig Boswell shows us, diplomats from the U.S., Russia, Ukraine, and European Union are trying to find a solution to the crisis.
After more than 6 hours of negotiations, Secretary of State John Kerry and counterparts from Russia and Ukraine reached an agreement that could lead to a peaceful resolution in eastern Ukraine.
I think there is the possibility, the prospect, that diplomacy may de-escalate the situation.
All sides agreed to refrain from violence, return illegally seized buildings, give amnesty to protesters, and allow international observers to help with these steps.
What is important is that these words are translated immediately into action.
The White House is threatening additional sanctions against Moscow if Russia doesn't live up to its end of the bargain. That includes allowing Ukraine to govern itself.
We have put in place additional consequences that we can impose on the Russians if we do not see actual improvement of the situation on the ground.
The U.S. has consistently said Russia is behind the unrest in eastern Ukraine. That's a charge Russian President Vladimir Putin again denied Thursday. Overnight, the situation turned deadly. Ukrainian forces killed 3 pro-Russian militants who were trying to attack a National Guard base. Craig Boswell for CBS News, the White House.
Today, the U.S. also announced it would ship more non-lethal aid, such as medical supplies and shelter to Ukraine.
Tonight, there are 1,700 new citizens of the United States. At the Seaport World Trade Center, candidates from 131 countries swore an oath of allegiance to the United States of America. The new citizens come from dozens of countries, from Albania and Afghanistan to Zambia and Zimbabwe. Congratulations.
Welcome. Well, coming up, it's the new wave of eco-friendly automobiles. We go on the road with the new cars that run on hydrogen.
As we head to break, here's a quick look at what's hot tonight on CBSBoston.com. We're back right after this.
It's Empire Today's biggest sale. 50% off carpet, 50% off batting and materials, and 50% off installation.
800-588-2300 Empire. Today. Toyota is #1 in value, but it gets better. Because we give you all new stylish Toyotas. Better yet, we give you great deals with the Toyota Gifts of Spring Savings Event. Receive the lowest ever lease on a well-equipped Corolla Sport for only $117 a month with no cost maintenance included. Plus, recent and soon-to-be college grads can get an additional $750 rebate. Hurry, Gifts of Spring will be wrapped up soon. Toyota, let's go places. Want to know where your kids are? Buy a Namco pool and be your kid's best friend. Namco, America's largest pool, patio, and game room superstore. This week, take an extra 20% off all pools. Buy an 18-foot Allure pool for just $14.99. That's an incredible savings of $1,800. And get reduced minimum financing. Don't wait. The sale ends April 20th. Place your order online now and pick up at a convenient in-store location. Namco, America's largest pool, patio, and game room superstore.
Sights that bring people to Massachusetts, none compares to the faces of the people you meet along the way. Massachusetts, it's a welcome sight.
Hi, I'm Roberto Napoleon. People always ask me, what is the Nicolot difference? When it comes to product, homeowners want the best.
It lasts. It looks like the day it was laid down.
This is Nicolot. This is a competitive brand. See the difference in the intensity of the color.
And the color went all the way through.
We apply a protective surface and eliminate all the pitfalls that other brands may have. That will not happen with a pay-per-use product. They can be confident it's the best product they can possibly buy. See the Nicolot difference.
For more information, visit Nicolock.com/TV2.
So again, throwing in the $1,000 fuel reward card is really what makes it like 2 deals in one.
Actually, getting a great car with 42 highway miles per gallon makes it like 2 deals in one.
Point is, there's never been a better time to buy a Jetta TDI clean diesel.
During the first ever Volkswagen TDI clean diesel event, get a great deal on a Jetta TDI. It gets 42 highway miles per gallon and get a $1,000 fuel reward card. It's like 2 deals in one. Volkswagen has the most TDI clean diesel models of any brand. Hurry in to get a $1,000 fuel reward card and 0.9% APR for 60 months on TDI models.
It's Empire Today's biggest sale. 50% off carpet, 50% off batting and materials, and 50% off installation.
800-588-2300 Empire.
Today, WBZ News is sponsored by Sleepy's, the mattress professionals.
So we know electric cars are powered by batteries. Hybrids use both batteries and gasoline.
But as Jarika Duncan explains, there's another option gaining traction: cars fueled by hydrogen.
On the surface, driving a vehicle powered by hydrogen isn't much different than driving your average car.
There's no difference. It feels the same.
But to explain exactly how it operates, Toyota's Chris Hofstetter took the wheel.
It's really a new innovation in using an electric vehicle, but instead of a battery system, we have a hydrogen system.
Unlike electric cars, there's no recharging. Fill up with hydrogen and drive for about 300 miles. The zero-emissions vehicle uses hydrogen and oxygen in a fuel cell to produce electricity. The only thing that comes out of the tailpipe is a little water. Toyota developed this SUV for testing, and next year this hydrogen car will go on sale. Honda also plans to release a hydrogen model in 2015, and Hyundai is expected to offer its version for lease this summer. But right now, the cars face a major roadblock. There are only about 9 public hydrogen fueling stations, all of them in California, where most of the vehicles are being tested. Plans are underway to develop up to 100 more.
The vehicles are ready. The challenge is developing the infrastructure, which will come as the vehicles hit the road.
Hydrogen automakers believe if the cars become popular, they will drive up demand for more hydrogen stations nationwide. Jarika Duncan, CBS News, New York.
When you get to the station, hydrogen vehicles take about 3 to 5 minutes to fill up.
Be nice if they got a couple hundred miles a gallon. It'd be great. When we return, how work in a medical clinic before a big race could help prevent some injuries during the race. Eric Fisher takes us to a new center that's making a huge difference.
Of course, we're going to give the forecast as well as get to our Marathon Monday. Some big changes compared to the cold that we're dealing with right now.
My name's John Young. I live in Salem, Mass, and I'm running as a member of the Achilles International Track Team. I was going to be one of the first 2 little people to finish the Boston Marathon. I wasn't allowed to finish last year, and so I think crossing the finish line this year is going to close a chapter on a very long journey. What's important to me is for people to realize that there's no such thing as a typical marathoner's run. Anybody can do a marathon if that's what they really want to.
Follow every runner's story on Marathon Monday, only on WBZ-TV. Real
people, steel people. They just won't compromise. Steel trimmers start at just $129.95. Visit SteelDealers.com.
Brian, is it true that you are one of the largest volume Honda dealers in New England?
Yes, it's true.
Right now at Kelly Honda on the Linway in Lynn, drive a new 2014 Honda Accord LX Automatic with AC, power group, and more for only $89 per month.
Go to KellyAuto.com.
My mom and dad love to shop at Lord & Taylor, especially during friends and family. They always take us along and we have lots of fun. And right now, almost everything at Lord & Taylor is an extra 25% off, for total savings of up to 50%. That makes mom and dad say, yippee! Yes, it's a big deal. So come on in, and you'll have lots of fun. Saving an extra 25%, a lot of great stuff, plus 10% off cosmetics, all during friends and family.
Termites in your basement? Ants in your kitchen? Ticks and mosquitoes in your yard? With Modern Pest Services, you'll never worry about a pest, stinging insect, or wildlife issue again. Call now and your first service is free. Pest problems? Not on our watch.
The Toyota Gifts of Spring Savings Event. Receive the lowest ever lease on a well-equipped Corolla Sport for only $117 a month with no cost maintenance included. The Gifts of Spring will soon be wrapped up. Toyota, let's go places.
I'm what they call a frequent flyer. The reality of flying today? Don't get me started. They pack you in there with no room to move. They toss you crumbs like it's a huge favor. And most of the time, I feel completely ignored. There's gotta be a way to fly with a little respect. You know?
Enjoy JetBlue's award-winning customer service, free unlimited snacks, and the most legroom in coach.
Whether you're an athlete, volunteer, or fan, we run together in the 2014 Boston Marathon. Join the conversation and share your story. #WeRunTogether.
Brian, is it true that you are one of the largest volume Chrysler dealers in New England?
Yes, it's true.
Right now at Kelly Jeep Chrysler on Route 1 North in Linfield during the awards season event, lease a new 2014 Chrysler 200 Limited for just $59 a month.
Go to KellyAuto.com.
CBS Money Watch Stock Update is brought to you by the Massachusetts State University System.
Today's Boston Marathon Preview is brought to you by Modern Pest Services.
Monday, thousands will run the Boston Marathon, thankful they didn't have a serious injury during their training.
Something you can do, though, to reduce the risk of a tear, fracture, shin splint from ever happening in the first place, and blisters, you name it, there's all kinds of things. But Aaron Fisher takes us to a Boston children's facility where experts are figuring out how to do just that.
I saw a lot already.
Jennifer Morse has a keen eye for what you may be doing wrong.
You're going to have two cameras on you, one here, one here.
She puts me under the microscope, a few steps away from the Boston Marathon.
Go to 8 minutes for the pace here, and that'll get you to your target.
There's still plenty of room for improvement.
You have that first definition of overstride. Ankle in front of knee in front of hip. Number 2 would be your strike pattern. Here's your bowl of water. You tip off to the left when your right foot's on the ground. You almost look like a pair of scissors running. They're kind of just cutting through.
This is not very good for like self-confidence coming in here and like, oh, this is wrong with you, and you're doing this wrong, and you look kind of weird.
I didn't say you look weird.
Okay, we got that going.
Yeah, exactly.
But this is what work at the McKaylee Center is all about. Athletes come here to learn more about themselves, and more importantly, their vulnerabilities.
And a lot of times our runners come to us with previous injuries. So we need to think about that. We need to, something's going on with their form.
So Jennifer breaks it down. Your cadence, the angle a shoe hits the pavement, where you're putting the most pressure on your body. These tests can reveal the warning signs.
This pattern right here is commonly associated with the shin splints.
And measures can be taken to prevent future pain.
All right, so toes are forward, butt back and down, good.
Essentially, you're taught to run all over again.
High knees, drop your knees a little bit, and go. That's it.
Hoping that these little changes, over time, can become second nature.
Good. The goal is to eventually keep changing that time that you have the good form down, and then eventually you don't think about it at all and it's just there.
If you really want to go in depth, Sarah Jarvis is the woman you want to meet with.
Today we are doing 3D analysis. Are you familiar with that at all?
Just I know that they make video games with 3D analysis.
Yes, yeah, very similar. So it's the same technology. We're
using it for more detailed view of looking at joint angles.
With a shiny new set of reflective markers.
All of these just help us figure out exactly where each one of your joints are. And that way we can turn your body into a full skeleton.
Sarah can track movements in a three-dimensional space.
Ready for my close-up.
A series of cameras set up around the room collect data, all flowing back to Sarah's workstation.
You did well.
At first, just dots on a computer screen.
That's me. That's you. That's you running.
But within a couple days, all of this will detail the movement of every joint. Runners, golfers, pitchers, and soccer players all use the final analysis to learn how to increase their efficiency and hopefully stay on the field. Jennifer says it's worth the effort.
What the feedback that I get is phenomenal. I mean, the runners feel like a whole new them. They come in, they learn about their body, they understand what flexibility to do, what strength to do, and if that doesn't help them in running, it helps them in life alone.
Well, McKinley Center just celebrated its one-year anniversary. They've had athletes of all abilities, ages 6 to 67. Their main goal now is to collect more data, publish their research, and help the field of injury prevention blossom so they'll never have the disappointment of having to stop doing something you love. And a lot of folks have these goals, and they get to race day, and something happens, they can't do it.
And you're right, whether you're feet pronate one way or another, or one little thing, if they can fix that, then it fixes everything.
You're doing 170 steps per minute, 26.2 miles. That's a lot of impacts over and over
There's
again.
science to this whole thing. You know, one thing, though, will really help you and keep you from getting injured is slipping. So if it's not raining on Monday, that goes a long way.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the forecast here going to Monday, because I think you're going to be happy about this. A lot of runners are going to be happy with the forecast. We look back for the last couple of years. The average temperature has been in the 50s for Hopkinton and Boston, but there's a couple notables in there. The hot weather back in 2012, of course, a lot of folks not running that year. And then for the wet weather, back in 2007, remember, big storm, pre-race, 2 to 4 inches of rain. For this time around, we're looking good, folks. Looks a little bit milder, into the 60s, no major storms, dry weather expected. We are going to be in good shape come Patriots Day around here. Good news. All right, for tonight, we've got clouds that are moving their way in off the water, an onshore flow here. Those clouds are going to figure into the forecast more tonight and tomorrow than they did during the day today. You notice a big batch of ocean clouds just sitting and swirling here off the coast, and those will be moving their way onshore. Temperatures, they are chilly. It's 38 in Boston and Plymouth, 40 in Worcester. You get to the comparatively warmer stuff near 50 out toward the Connecticut River Valley. So tonight, mostly cloudy at the coast. Be clearer as you work your way westward, so 20s in all the western suburbs, but 30s right along the water. Highs tomorrow, similar to today. Again, onshore flow, near 40 degrees, North Shore down through the South Shore and the Cape. We'll get a little bit more sunshine, mid-40s here across Worcester County, and more like the 50s as you move out toward the Connecticut River Valley. More sunshine there, and less of that ocean influence. So tomorrow morning, it will be a gray start. There could even be a little bit of drizzle outside. Kind of a dreary Good Friday forecast here. Midday, cloudy to the east. It'll be more bright as you work your way to the west, and that's where you'll see temperatures climbing to the 40s during the afternoon. Staying in the low 40s at the coast. Sunset tomorrow is at 7:29. Looking at the weekend, things absolutely improving. Tomorrow evening, it's pretty gray out there, but as we head towards Saturday morning, this cold front comes through, kicks an ocean storm out to sea. We clear out, lots of sunshine on Saturday, high pressure is in control on Sunday, and the mild air here posed to move in as we head toward Monday. So Easter, no complaints. 50s, it will be cooler at the coastline, but lots of sunshine, no major storms, not much winds, not much to deal with. And the whole holiday weekend, we've had a lot of ups and downs this week, but when it counts, there you go. Upper 50s to around 60s, Saturday, Sunday, 60s on Monday. Wishing all the runners very good luck. Certainly going to be a nice looking forecast. It's your AccuWeather 7-day. We're taking a look at warming temperatures for next week, near 70 on Tuesday. That's our next chance for some rains. We have a long dry stretch here. A lot of the rivers, especially northern New England, will start to come down. That rain lingers into Wednesday. We cool down by the middle of next week. Our schoolyard shout out for tonight. Barry Burbank visited the Columbus Park School in Worcester, where they've been shivering the last couple of days. Near record lows to see. But the kids, they still seem to wear spring clothing, even when the weather's cold. Big jackets at the bus stop, I guess. At 110, 4th to 6th graders there.
It's a strict rule when you're an elementary school kid. Once you've transitioned to a new season, you're not going back.
I used to bring a change of clothes in my backpack. So my mom would see me go out the door one way and I change at the bus stop.
That's right. All right, thank you so much. We have some fantastic live pictures to bring you. This is outside Fenway Park right now, where Boston Marathon bombing survivor Mark Figueroa and his new bride, Jen Regan, are expected to emerge any minute. The two just said, I do, inside the home of the Boston Red Sox. And we have seen the Norton brothers there. They just came out. The guests arrived via duck boat. and they plan to take a duck boat onto their reception. And this was a promise that Mark had made to Jen when we've spoken with him throughout the year. He wanted to be able to walk down the aisle when they were married. And of course, it's been such a long, difficult, painful year, especially for him. And what a joyful day.
And he was the last one to get out of the hospital. And he had so many painful treatments that have taken place over the course of a year for him. They've taken some skin grafts off his back, and he really has done a remarkable job. And just yesterday we saw him walking into federal court. Remember, he wants to go to every single one of the court appearances for the suspect in this case. And here he is now on a much different day, a joyful day.
We'll dip into it just as soon as we have them.
All right, as soon as they come out, we'll go to it. In the meantime, casino developer MGM wants the state to award it a provisional license to start construction. Springfield voters approved the $800 million plan to bring a casino, hotel, restaurants, and spa to town. Well, today, during a state gaming commission hearing, MGM's president said the company could lose $200 million in state fees and other payments if an effort to repeal the casino law is successful. He asked the commission for a temporary license that did not require the initial state fees. Well, tonight we are one step closer to the answer of a question that has been asked for the ages.
Are we alone in the universe? After the break, details on what NASA just discovered. And now here's Jack with a look at what's ahead at 6.
Paula, Jonathan, thank you. Tonight, we're going one-on-one with Jeff Bowman, marathon survivor, and now a New York Times best-selling author.
Really good day.
Tonight, his plans for Marathon Monday, and more on his long road to recovery. Also at 6, protecting the race. We took to the sky today to get a behind-the-scenes look at how police will use new technology to step up security for this year's marathon.
I'll be standing right there on the finish line. I'll be talking to the runners as they come across, and you see their face light up, and you understand the accomplishment they have just achieved. That is a moment that's fun to celebrate with them. I like being the first high five they give when they come across the line. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited for the opportunity to be back down here again. I'm excited to tell the stories of the runners coming across that finish line and worked so hard. That feeling of triumph, overcoming so many obstacles. I'm really excited for this year's race. This will be a fantastic marathon.
Whether you're planning a VIP party or just celebrating with friends and family, Dare has a cracker for every occasion. I'm Chef Kane Raymond, and I'm passionate about entertaining friends and family. Today I'll share some simple but delicious recipes using a variety of Dare crackers that will surely inspire your next get-together. Let's start with smoking good prawns. So I'm starting off at the base of this dish with the Vinter cracker. The Vinter cracker is really sturdy and strong. Flavor-wise, it's really, really good. It's got 8 whole grains and seeds. We put the chipotle smoked avocado puree on there, some delicious prawns that have been marinated in a little bit of citrus. We stack them up like that. Then we put your favorite store-bought salsa. And the best thing about this cracker is really, you can leave these crackers to sit here and they're not going to become soggy. This next recipe is called Field and Stream. We're using the 100% all-natural Grains First cracker. Grains First is a really delicious cracker for a start. There's a lot of great grains and seeds and a lot of flavors. So we're going to put this cracker down on the bottom like that and put this beet, goat's cheese, and horseradish puree on top of that. From there, we put our smoked salmon on top and then a little bit of shaved apple with lemon and some fresh herbs. So it's a great cracker, holds up really well with the smokiness of the salmon and the sweetness of the beet puree. One of my favorites is called Marinate Me. So the cracker I'm going to use today is the Breton Original. The recipes for Breton Original are really subtle and plain sort of flavor ingredients that let the buttery flakiness of the cracker sort of stand out. I'm going to put the marinated artichokes, bocconcini, and tomatoes on the cracker. We're going to put a little bit of pesto on here. Who doesn't like a little bit of parmesan? A little bit of cracked black pepper really sets this dish off. From special dinner parties to snacking, Dare has a variety of flavors, textures, and shapes to inspire every bite. For more recipes and a chance to cook with me, visit Breton on Facebook. Inspire every bite with Dare crackers.
Real people, steel people. They just won't compromise. Steel trimmers start at just $129.95. Visit steeldealers.com.
Tonight, a discovery that really is out of our world. Astronomers found what they say is the most Earth-like planet yet. It is a distant, rocky world similar in size to our planet. Scientists say it is in the Goldilocks zone. Not making that up, that's what they called it. It's not too hot there. It's not too cold for life. The planet is about 10% larger than Earth, and it does orbit a red dwarf star about 500 light years away. While an Earth year is 365 days long, this planet completes an orbit of its star every 130 days. Interesting. That's going to do it for us at 5 o'clock, but there's much more straight ahead. The news at 6 starts now.
Breaking news, a Cambridge teacher arrested on child pornography. What he said to police moments after being taken into custody.
An explosion rocks a Dorchester neighborhood, injuring a dozen people. But could it have been avoided? What neighbors are revealing.
A split decision on a centuries-old law. What it means for the death penalty in New Hampshire.
Back in the 20s tonight, but the Sox back in town this weekend, Easter Sunday, and the marathon will break down the forecast day by day.
Live from our studios in Boston, WBZ News at 6 starts right now.
We begin tonight with breaking news and shocking child pornography charges filed against a Cambridge teacher. Good evening, I'm Jack Williams.
And I'm Paula Evan. Lisa Hughes is on assignment. Police broke down the door to Josh Wyrie's home earlier today and arrested him. He's a 5th grade teacher at the Graham Park School in Cambridge. He appeared in court just a short time ago. Our Beth Germano joins us now live. Beth?
Paula, authorities say they were first tipped off last July that images of child pornography were being shared over the internet, and they say their investigation led them to Scott Wiry. This federal affidavit details image after image, as well as explicit email exchanges. They say he didn't open the door when they first arrived at his Somerville apartment today with a search warrant, but they say he's admitted to everything. It's disturbing charges against the Cambridge 5th grade teacher who taught at the Graham Park School. Authorities say they've been following an email trail from 27-year-old Josh Wiry, using the name Hot James to allegedly trade hundreds of photos and videos of child pornography. Authorities searched his Somerville apartment today and say they found computers, video cameras, photos, and thumb drives, Wiry allegedly telling them it was for self-gratification. According to a federal affidavit, Wiry admitted to using an international website to locate images of child pornography. He also admitted to secretly videotaping and using a camera cell phone to videotape children changing in and out of clothes on more than one occasion, and of setting up and hiding a video camera in a locker room to videotape children changing in and out of clothes. It's unclear where he did the actual taping. Outside court, his brothers say they were shocked by the allegations.
We're all really sad about what happened. He's our brother, and we stand by him as our brother, but obviously what happened is disgusting. And
you're obviously surprised by this.
Absolutely.
And according to the affidavit, Josh Wiry also offered babysitting services on Craigslist. His initial appearance here at federal court today was brief. He's being held until another hearing next week to lay out the charges. Reporting live from outside federal court, I'm Beth Germano, WBZ News. Jack?
All right, Beth, thank you. A major response to a powerful blast. A suspected natural gas leak causes an explosion and partial collapse of a Dorchester house. The force was so strong that the door was blown off the hinges and right out into the street. A dozen people injured, including 5 children. Now, a burned-out house remains as questions continue to grow. One of them, could this explosion have been avoided?
Neighbors say they reached out to National Grid weeks ago, complaining about the smell of gas. And today, Boston fire investigators confirmed the blast was caused by a natural gas leak. The source, however, is unknown. A resident across the street says he called the gas company weeks ago, complaining about the smell.
They came, they checked, couldn't find anything, but then they wanted us to hire a private investigator contractor to come and...
the homeowner you'd have to hire.
Yeah, they wanted me to hire somebody to find it.
National Grid issued a statement this afternoon saying, in part, we have not found any issues with our infrastructure, and it appears to have been operating normally. Jack?
Well, Paula, a new development tonight in the Aaron Hernandez murder case. Oscar Hernandez, no relation to Aaron, was arrested in Florida as part of a gun trafficking investigation between Florida and Massachusetts. Federal prosecutors charged a 23-year-old with obstruction of justice, witness tampering, and lying to a federal grand jury. It's all related to the murder of Odin Lloyd. Last June, police found Lloyd's body in the North Attleboro Industrial Park. Former Patriot Aaron Hernandez has been charged in the murder, and officials say that Oscar Hernandez is one of Aaron Hernandez's friends. But former prosecutor Jerry Leone says it's unclear if the guns found will actually affect the ex-Patriot's murder case.
There are apparently two .22 caliber pistols and one rifle that were seized from the Toyota Camry that was apparently parked in Aaron Hernandez's house. However, we believe at this point that the murder weapon's a .45. So the admissibility will be an open issue.
Oscar Hernandez will be extradited to face a judge here in Massachusetts.
We want to bring you to a moment of joy in downtown Boston now. You're looking at the newlyweds, Mark Fucureel and Jen Regan. Of course, Mark from Stoneham was the last bombing victim from the Boston Marathon last year to be released in the hospital. He and his bride, Jen, were just married inside Fenway Park. These are the duck boats, which guests used to arrive at Fenway, and now they are leaving from the ballpark. Mark had promised Jen, as they planned their wedding day, that they would not get married until he could walk down the aisle, and look at how well he's doing just over a year later. And such a moment of joy for them, their friends, their family. JP and Paul Norden, his friends, were there inside Fenway Park to celebrate this joyous occasion with him. And it's just beautiful to see them starting this beautiful new beginning. All our best wishes to the Fucureels.
Oh, that was great timing for us, and how beautiful, and the very best to that great couple. Well, another morning is a very chilly temperatures as many of us looking for any sign of spring.
I know, it could be arriving any day. We'll see. Our chief meteorologist, Eric Fisher, has your AccuWeather forecast. I don't think any of those members of the wedding party minded the chill out there today.
No, it seemed like they were pretty happy. We wish we could have done a little bit better for their wedding ceremony. Our apologies on that. A cool day in Boston, but at least it is dry. We're at 37 degrees in the city, 38 in Worcester. These are wintertime temperatures here in mid-April. The reason being, take a look at the wind. This is indicating wind direction coming in out of the northeast across the water, and that water is very cold. So the closer you are to it, the colder the air temperature is today. And also a little bit of moisture coming in off the ocean. Some cloud cover from Cape Ann down through Boston and over toward the Cape and Islands. You notice it's so clear skies off to the west. That's how tonight will really hold on to. We're looking at 20s, more clearing here in central Massachusetts, Metro West. You get toward the coast, 30s and more cloud cover, and maybe even a little bit of drizzle by tomorrow morning. But tomorrow is the last cold day, and then we've got a warming trend heading into the holiday weekend, certainly into next week. We'll talk about that, Easter and the marathon coming up. Jack, Paula, back to you.
All right, Eric, thank you so much. It was an emotional day in New Hampshire as lawmakers debated and vote on the future of that state's centuries-old death penalty. Our Michael Rosenfield was at the Capitol.
I am struggling and have struggled with this decision.
The New Hampshire Senate floor, the site of passionate debate on the controversial issue of capital punishment.
The people in the gallery and the people back home are asking us to stand up today and either vote for the death penalty or vote against it.
Supporters and opponents of the death penalty packed the Capitol today, both inside the Senate chambers and outside the State House, as senators made their positions clear.
State-sponsored execution is not justice. We stoop to the level of the killer, and it changes nothing.
Because I believe that there are some crimes that are that heinous, I support the death penalty.
The vote ended in a tie 12-12, predominantly along party lines, most Republicans voting to keep the death penalty in place.
The death penalty is a failed public policy. It doesn't work. It doesn't protect public safety. It doesn't provide support for our police officers. It does not reduce violent crime.
I think it's really important to keep the death penalty on the books for especially egregious cases.
Today's actions watched closely because the House had already voted to repeal the death penalty, and the governor had indicated she would have signed it into law if it had made it through the Senate.
It's obvious that this movement has momentum in New Hampshire.
With the vote today, New Hampshire remains the only state in New England with the death penalty still on the books. Opponents of capital punishment say they will continue their fight here. From the state capitol in Concord, New Hampshire, Michael Rosenfield, WBZ News.
So at 6 o'clock tonight, a bird's eye view of the famed Boston Marathon course, and tonight we're going into the sky and behind the scenes. You see, state police are stepping up their efforts for Marathon Monday. Katie Brace got a preview of their efforts today.
Before the runners even start, this is one of the crews watching from above.
Check area clear.
We flew with the Massachusetts State Police Air Wing along the marathon course toward the finish line. They are preparing for the thousands of spectators and runners on Marathon Monday.
This year, we just want to, for all the victims and all the survivors, to give them as safe a marathon as we possibly can.
High-powered and infrared cameras are mounted on the choppers. The crews can send crucial information down to officers on the ground. The infrared camera spotted Joe Carzanaya hiding in a boat in a Watertown backyard.
The detail was phenomenal. He was actually standing up in the boat.
These 3 officers were in the helicopter that night.
We were just the eyes and ears for those guys that were on the ground.
Last year, the state police had 1 helicopter. This year, they are flying 4 throughout the entire day on Marathon Day.
This year, we just want to make sure that we have all our resources in place, and we can keep the public safe.
The air crews will not focus on abandoned bags or packages. They will patrol the crowds, and they are key in responding to scenes quickly when ground officers are delayed. They hope their presence helps ease any anxiety.
There's nothing but, innocent men, women, and children there. And it should be a day where, you celebrate.
And that they bring back the spirit of Marathon Monday by keeping everyone safe. In Framingham, Katie Brace, WBZ News.
Coming up on WBZ News, his is the face of a survivor. Tonight, we go one-on-one with Jeff Bowman, 1 year after the tragedy that changed his life.
On the eve of a playoff opener, one Bruin veteran tells us why the playoffs never get old.
You score little victories every day. Now do it with dinner. Land O'Lakes Saute Express meal starter with herbs, spices, butter, and olive oil is one step, no prep, and so good they'll ask for more. Land O'Lakes Saute Express.
It's award season. These are awards, and this is the award-winning Chrysler 200. Now, awards can take you places. Ditto for the car. The awards help you live life in the fast lane. So does the car. By the way, the 200 is a top safety pick, unlike awards, which are no career safety net. The Chrysler 200, now at the Chrysler Award Season event.
Get a low mileage lease on 200 limited sedan for $109 a month for well-qualified lessees or $6,000 total cash allowance.
At UMass Amherst, the Commonwealth's flagship campus, we stand for progress. From the discoveries in our new life science laboratories, to our graduate work in renewable energy, to our advancements in life-saving storm tracking technology, and our mission to modernize some of the state's oldest native industries. At UMass Amherst, we don't just think about the future of Massachusetts, we help define it.
Unfortunately, I didn't reach Boylston Street, but I did end up receiving a finisher's medal for the 2013 Boston Marathon. Similarly, I received a medal from the Special Olympics, thanking me for fundraising for running in their honor. You guys want to play? With the Special Olympics, I think it's a really great example of transcending barriers, and that's something that has always been important to me. We're all in this together, and we're going to cross Boylston Street, and we're going to celebrate, all of us.
Spring into excitement at Foxwoods Resort Casino. Sunday, April 27th, we're giving away a Stratos Evolution fishing boat, plus 4 lucky winners. Each receive $1,000 in bonus slot play, all guaranteed. The excitement continues with superstar shows like Julio Iglesias, Bill Maher, and Alice in Chains. And don't miss Wine and Design with Drunken Palette every Friday in April starting at 8 p.m. It's spring, so bring on the fun at the new Foxwoods Resort Casino.
It's a real estate jungle out there. That's why we've let a lion loose in your neighborhood. But there's no need to run. This lion is on your side every step of the way. Lear Realty Partners. We're one of the largest real estate firms in New England, with over 300 experienced agents, a 15-year track record, and the latest tools, roaring into the market with a brand new name, Lear Realty Partners. The roar that opens more doors.
You score little victories every day. Now do it with dinner. Land O'Lakes Saute Express meal starter with herbs, spices, butter, and olive oil is one step, no prep, and so good they'll ask for more. Land O'Lakes Saute Express.
Stronger than ever before, marathon survivor Jeff Bowman, now an author. A year after tragedy, Bowman says this past year has held a lot of joy.
Jeff spoke one-on-one with our own Lauren Lamanchak today, and Lauren joins us live from Concord. Lauren.
Well, Jack, Jeff Bowman doesn't gloss over the tough times he's had, but he is a remarkably positive guy. And when you talk to him, the word that keeps coming up over and over is grateful. He's thankful not only for his life, but for all of the love people have shown him over the last year.
It's my story, and it's a great story. It's like a roller coaster.
Jeff Bowman, marathon survivor, is now Jeff Bowman, best-selling author. But getting from this iconic picture to here wasn't easy. Bowman endured painful surgeries, emotional turmoil. Straight ahead. And then he had to learn to walk again. A frustrating ordeal.
I didn't like them. They hurt. They were clunky. I didn't really know how to use them properly. But that all changed over time. When I started to use them more and more, I was like, oh, these are great. This is way better than the wheelchair.
If the hospital was a low point, this year's held a lot of high points, too.
We're going to probably get married next summer, but this summer we're having a baby, July 14th. That's the due date.
And for that, he is grateful, a feeling reinforced on an emotional anniversary.
I think that we all think that we could have been not here right now. It kind of makes you grateful for what people have done for us and the way they saved our lives. And it makes you want to live your life to the fullest for the people that lost their lives. And it makes you want to never forget them.
And on this Marathon Monday, Bowman will be at the finish line.
Going down there and replacing a bad day with a really good day. So that's what I am going to try to do.
One of the things that stood out to me that Jeff said is that he loves people's reactions when they first see him stand up and take steps. He sees how happy that he's made them and how inspired they are, and he says he just doesn't want to let anyone down. Live in Concord tonight, Lauren Lamanchak, WBZ News. Jack, back to you.
Well, we're certainly all proud of Jeff. Thank you, Lauren. Great story tonight. Tomorrow on WBZ News, we're going to have a White House exclusive. Lisa Hughes, one-on-one with President Obama. The president's message to our city ahead of this year's marathon. Lisa reports live from Washington, D.C. tomorrow beginning at 5 p.m. on WBZ News. Well, it's a little warmer today, not a lot warmer, but a little warmer by golly, and it's going to be improved.
It is. Looking toward that weekend, let's get to Chief Meteorologist Eric Fisher. He has all the details. A little warm up.
Oh, we have to warm up. There's nowhere else to go, right? It's been so chilly over the last 24 hours or so. These are high temperatures today. 40 in Boston, 41 Lawrence, Worcester just to 42 degrees. The influence of the ocean this time of year, especially coming off such a cold winter, the water is below average, and so our temperatures following suit. Also some clouds moving in this evening, anywhere from Gloucester down through Boston, Scituate, Plymouth, Harwich, all dealing with a little bit of cloud cover out there for the evening. You have much clearer skies to the west. It's a lot of cloudiness that's lurking here out into the ocean. A lot of this moisture is going to back its way in as we get through the overnight. It will be here for our day on Friday. So we will stay with the clouds near the coastline tonight. Clearer, 20s in the suburbs, the 30s right along the shore. Then we head toward tomorrow morning, and I think it's going to be a pretty gray start. A little bit of drizzle could actually fall. Have a gray Friday, tough morning to get out of bed. We get toward midday. It'll be cloudy to the east. You head across, say, Worcester County and westward across the state. And that's where you get a little more sunshine. You'll get warmer temperatures. Those spots, mid-upper 40s tomorrow afternoon. Near the coastline, staying in the low 40s. Yet again, sunset at 7:29 tomorrow evening. So you take a look at those highs, you notice the cool slice right here along the water's edge. Lower 40s tomorrow. Worcester to 45, same in Providence. But the 50s as you move out toward the Connecticut River Valley. Feeling a little more comfortable if the travels take you in that direction. So our onshore flow for tomorrow, but then things start to change. This cold front moves in as we head through tomorrow night, Saturday morning. Kicks an ocean storm out to sea. We clear out on Saturday. That forecast has looked better and better every day this week. Sunday, high pressure is still in control. We'll have to deal with some sea breezes, but otherwise beautiful Easter. And then we have the mild air gathering off here to the south and west. That moves in for Patriots Day. So upper 50s to around 60 on Saturday. Sunday, we're in the 50s to around 60. A little cooler at the coast. Highs near 50 here with that sea breeze, but still lots of sunshine. And then on Monday, good luck to the runners. 60s, dry, mix of sun and clouds. Looks right on time. Great stuff when it counts. And if you look back through history over the past 10 years, You know, most of the temperatures have been in line, very close to average. Just a couple of warm days mixed in will be on the warmer side of that envelope, but I think the 60s will be pretty manageable for us. No major storms around, and dry weather is expected out there for Monday. Here's your AccuWeather 7-day, heading into next week. Next chance of a storm is Tuesday afternoon into Wednesday. That will bring some rainfall. Doesn't look to be anything too nefarious just yet. We'll keep an eye on it. We'll cool us down as we head toward the midweek, back into the low 50s. So no 70s there, but after the last couple of days, those 50s and 60s will feel pretty good. Come back to you guys.
Looks good. Eric, thank you very much. And Steve's here at Sports.
Bruins doings ready to go now to the playoffs.
Bruins getting anxious to get this game going. NHL playoffs began last night, but we are still waiting for the Bruins to open up their first round series against Detroit. They'll finally drop the puck tomorrow night at the Garden, and this place should be absolutely rocking. Claude Julien's club hit the practice ice for a third consecutive day this morning. Defenseman Kevin Miller was back in attendance after missing the last two with the flu. However, Daniel Pyatt, Chris Kelly, and Matt Barkowski were still MIA. Joe McGinley was out there today, but Bees forward is in his 17th NHL season, but he's yet to win a cup. But he says this time of year, it never gets old.
I think every time you get a chance to be a part of the playoffs, you definitely you feel fortunate because it's hard work. It's you know, there's 30 teams and only 16 make it, and you play all year for that, and it's for this opportunity. It's to have a chance to compete for the Stanley Cup.
Red Sox and White Sox had their own marathon last night. It took a whopping 5 hours, 17 minutes, and 14 innings last night for the Red Sox to snap a 3-game losing streak, but they'll take it. Jackie Bradley broke a 4-4 tie in the top of the 14th with a 2-run double to right off Leury Garcia, a second baseman who was asked to pitch because the White Sox were out of arms. Over in Celtic Nation, their season has mercifully come to an end, and hey, don't blame the coach. Brad Stevens did all he could. Celtics lost to the Wizards last night and finished up 25-57, third worst record in franchise history. It wasn't pretty, but there is a possible upside. Celtics could land a high draft pick in this year's draft. Celtics finished tied with Utah for the fourth worst record in the NBA, trailing only Milwaukee, Philadelphia, and Orlando. On Friday, there will be a coin toss to decide who will get one more ping pong ball between the Celtics and Jazz. As of right now, the Seas have a 10.4% chance of winning the draft lottery. Of course, Danny Ainge is in charge of it all, and last night he was asked how long he thinks it will take for the Seas to become a title contender again.
I don't know. How does anybody know that? What, you want me to like make a prediction or something? Or
are you confident that you have the
I don't know anything about what we can do. I mean, I'm hopeful. I'll work my tail off to try to duplicate, what we've done in the past, but there are no guarantees.
Time will tell. One player Ainge watched earlier this season, Jabari Parker, declared himself eligible today. The 6'8" swingman spent his freshman year at Duke and was named consensus first-team All-American. Chicago native averaged over 19 points and 8 rebounds a game. I love Ainge's response, right? Oh, no. You think I have a crystal ball here? I know.
I'll predict.
You gonna predict?
Years.
2 years
We'll
to do
win it
that?
all.
You heard it here first.
Jack knows.
Yeah, right. Thank you, Steve.
The CBS Evening News is coming up at 6:30.
Scott Pelley once again joins us live from New York City with the preview. Scott.
Paula, Jack, great to be with you in Boston. More bodies were found today off the coast of South Korea at that capsized ferry and the rescue site there. But at least a couple of hundred people are missing, and most of them are high school students, all from the same school. Our Seth Doan is following the search and recovery effort there, and we will have the very latest from the scene coming up on the CBS Evening News in about 10 minutes.
Scott, thank you. And still ahead tonight, crowning the marathon winner. The new look they'll be sporting this year.
CBS Sunday.
You're gonna have to trust me real quick. I'm the new Will.
You know the new Will.
Michael J. Fox returns to The Good Wife.
All your respect.
And the martini.
Let the battle
I need my client back.
for power
I am not worthy.
begin.
I don't want to be the enemy.
You're not the enemy. You're the devil. It's time to kick some butt.
Don't miss a new Good Wife Sunday, only CBS.
Get ready. Spring has finally arrived, and a Subaru with symmetrical all-wheel drive can help you enjoy it. Love the road you're on in a brand new Subaru Forester, Motor Trend's 2014 Sport Utility of the Year. Drive home a brand new Subaru Forester, a top safety pick plus for only $21,995. Plus, get 1.9% financing for up to 48 months. Get a great deal and go love spring. Whether you're an athlete, volunteer, or fan, we run together in the 2014 Boston Marathon. Join the conversation and share your story. #We Run Together.
My mom and dad love to shop at Lord & Taylor, especially during friends and family. They always take us along and we have lots of fun. And right now, almost everything at Lord & Taylor is an extra 25% off for total savings of up to 50%. That makes mom and dad say, yippee! Guess it's a big deal. So come on in and you'll have lots of fun. Saving an extra 25% on a lot of great stuff. Plus 10% off cosmetics. All during Friends and Family.
Today at dusk, join the New England Hemophilia Association and Biogen IDEC as they illuminate Mass DOT's Zachem Bridge in red to raise awareness and honor World Hemophilia Day, April 17th.
My Son the Waiter, a Jewish tragedy starring Brad Zimmerman.
You have to know things. I know 2 things about wine. We have it or we don't.
The Sun Sentinel called it hilarious.
I'm a hard audience and I didn't stop laughing.
I made more money at my bar mitzvah than I did last year.
My Son the Waiter, a Jewish tragedy at the Regent Theater. For tickets, call 781-646-4849.
I am the style enforcer, and this one gets a ticket for driving while captivating. And with 370 horsepower, I'd write that one up for excessive use of force. Look at the leather seats. They are softer than the leather on my face. I would drive one of these babies home right now. I could just remember where I lived. Let's go, Cookie.
Get a low-mileage lease on the 2014 Dodge Dart GT for $179 a month for well-qualified lessees.
Tonight, the Marathon Reads, straight from Greece, have been presented to the BAA. Our own Lisa Hughes was there as the Consul General of Greece made the presentation at the State House. This happened just moments ago. And this year, the ceremonial winners' wreaths made from olive branches are slightly different. You might notice they've been dipped in gold. Beautiful. And of course, WBZ is proud to be your marathon station.
And we hope you keep it right here for full coverage of Marathon Monday from Hopkinton to Boylston Street. We'll have all of the action for you. Hope you join us.
We'll be back right after this.
I'm Michael Orlinsky. I live in Watertown, Massachusetts, and I'm running for the Dana-Farber Marathon Challenge team. The events of last spring definitely hit way too close to home. Every media outlet was on the corner that I go past every day. I think when I finish the Boston Marathon and I reach that finish line, I'm going to have a really sore hand from giving high fives to a lot of people on Boylston. It's going to be a really sort of a weight off my shoulders, and I think it's going to be a great day.
Follow every runner's story only on WBZ-TV.
Closed captioning is brought to you by My Son the Waiter, a Jewish tragedy, now playing at the Regent Theater in Arlington.
Our faith in each other, our common creed cuts across whatever superficial differences there may be.
And that is our power.
That is our strength.
That's why a bomb can't beat us.
We carry on.
We race!
We come together to celebrate life.
And to cheer for our teams.
The crowds will gather.
On the 3rd Monday in April, the world
will return to this great American city to run harder than ever.
And to cheer even louder.
Bet on it.
Bet on it.
Bet on it.
Bet on it.
The most annoying thing about flying? The treatment. It's like I'm some huge inconvenience. Well, excuse me for wanting a little attention. I mean, am I completely invisible? Well, you don't see that every day. Enjoy JetBlue's award-winning customer service.
Termites cause structural damage, and most homeowners don't even know it's happening.
Protect your investment with the Home Care Termite Program from Modern Pest Services. Call for a free, no-hassle quote over the phone. Termite problems? Not on our watch.
Super Saturday is coming to Bernie and Phil's. Once-in-a-lifetime prices on doorbuster items. Any size Sealy mattress, all one price, as low as $99 each piece. Twin, full, king, or queen, same low price this Super Saturday. Open early at 8 a.m.
Really? Okay. All right.
Use the ready-to-go spreader and save time. Just turn it on and go. It makes lawn care easy.
Toyota is #1 in value, but it gets better. Because we give you all new stylish Toyotas. Better yet, we give you great deals with the Toyota Gifts of Spring Savings Event. Receive our lowest lease on a Prius C, just $97 a month with no cost maintenance included. Or get best ever 0 for 60 plus $750 bonus cash on a Prius liftback. Hurry, Gifts of Spring will be wrapped up soon. Toyota, let's go places.
I don't know, I just woke up today and I said, I need something sportier. And done.
Okay, Maxwell. Just need to contact your insurance company with the VIN number.
I just did it with my Geico app. VIN number's up to the loaded.
Okay, well then, Jerry here will take you through all the features then.
Why don't we go out to the car?
Okay, I'm just outside. Okay, yeah. His dad is my boss.
Yeah.
VIN scanning to add a car. Just a tap away on the Geico app.
So still have to bundle up through tomorrow.
Yeah, you know, the 40s, every once in a while we get a stretch like this. And every April, it feels like things cool down and people aren't so happy. But look at the weekend. Is anyone complaining about that weekend right there? After the last couple, upper 50s, around 60 on Saturday, 50s on Sunday, but cooler at the coast. And then for Patriots Day, Marathon Monday, into the 60s we go, each day dry. Perfect.
But you can't beat that. Well, how much of a wind, I assume? You don't have a wind coming up.
Monday, it looks like a light southwesterly breeze, so that's something that kind of pushes you along. It's not going to be a sea breeze coming into your face, so hopefully everyone's happy with that forecast.
Gee, that sounds marvelous. Well, that does it for us. Big weekend coming up, Marathon Monday. I got to start training.
You just might be able to get it in. Have a great night. We'll see you back here for WBZ News at 11.
4 days until the Boston Marathon, here on WBZ.